There was an issue most likely with Stacey because someone actually brought up the fact that Stacey has run for governor a couple of times, and it seems like there's a gubernatorial race that's coming up in Georgia, and nobody knows whether or not Stacey is going to run. So why not muddy the water if we can to hopefully keep a strong black woman down? But again, I digress. So let's talk about the things that we could be talking about while we sit here in the Doge committee. It seems like we could be talking about things like efficiency or oversight.
Hey folks, welcome back to True Voice. I'm Andrew, your unapologetically left-wing patriot bringing you clarity through all the political noise. If you're tired of the spin and want the real deal, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and join the movement. All right, let's get into today's reaction. And trust me, you want to hear what Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett had to say. She does not hold back. She goes in on Congress, Elon Musk, Trump-era corruption, and the right's favorite political distractions, all while dropping straight facts. Let's watch.
It is interesting that we're talking about bypassing Congress. It seems like that's all that has happened, actually, this Congress. In fact, it's why we've had to spend so much time in courts. And thank God that we at least have one branch of government that has decided not to abdicate their duties and has decided that there are things such as, impoundment. And so when Congress does make a decision or does sign something into law or has been signed into law by a president, that you can't just bring in your good little friend who helped you get elected to the tune of $300 billion or $300 million and say, hey, guy, you get to do whatever you want to, despite what these duly elected people have done. But I digress. But I am going to get back to Elon, because Elon is looming over every single Doge hearing. You know why? Because that's supposedly what Elon was heading up. But now they don't want to talk about Elon, because Elon now is a little upset. There's a family spat that's obviously going on, and it is going to play out, it seems like, all over Twitter. But nevertheless, let's talk about some of the things that we should be talking about. And you know what? Every time I come in here, I really do wonder, what is the point? Like, why are we here? Because it doesn't seem like we're doing efficiency, right? Like, have we seen Elon? No. Have we seen anybody that works for Doge? No. But we're in the Doge subcommittee and we're talking to everybody but the Doge people. So to hear the comments about Stacey Abrams, it really got me going. And a lot of times when we come into this hearing room, it's all about politics. And it made me think that there was an issue most likely with Stacey because someone actually brought up the fact that Stacey has run for governor a couple of times. And it seems like there's a gubernatorial race that's coming up in Georgia, and nobody knows whether or not Stacey is going to run. So why not muddy the water if we can to hopefully keep a strong black woman down? But again, I digress. So let's talk about the things that we could be talking about while we sit here in the Doge committee. It seems like we could be talking about, things like efficiency or oversight. When announcing this hearing, the chairwoman stated the Doge subcommittee would, quote, continue bringing long overdue transparency and accountability to those who abuse tax dollars. But so far this Congress, Republicans have focused their oversight responsibilities on things like defunding Big Bird, as well as attacking, of course, trans kids, because they're really the big threat that we have. We could be talking about how the Trump administration is ignoring these court orders, supporting American citizens, or targeting members of Congress for prosecution, or how Trump signed an order deregulating the cryptocurrency industry just as his family launched a digital currency. We could be having a hearing on how Trump fired members of the National Labor Relations Board for bringing a suit against Elon Musk, or how the Trump administration dismantled the Office of the Federal Contract Compliance while the office was investigating Tesla for alleged racial harassment, or how Trump dropped lawsuits against numerous large companies after they donated to his inaugural fund. We could have a hearing on whether Trump violated the emoluments clause when he not only, it seemed like he asked for a $400 million jet from a foreign government. Trump has put a for sale sign on the lawn of the White House and has allowed wealthy donors to dictate how the government operates. That's what we should be having a hearing about, but nope. They're here attacking nonprofits that deliver food to seniors and disabled folk, provide child care and elder care for working families, job training for teens, and shelter for the unhoused. The Republicans and their witnesses have accused nonprofits of being, quote, radical and, quote, addicted to government money. And listen, I try to find agreement where I can. So I am going to say that I absolutely do agree with that statement to a certain extent, because there is a nonprofit by the name of the Heritage Foundation. And last time I checked, the Heritage Foundation, they are the authors of Project 2025. And we are living through the hell of Project 2025 right now. And something tells me that that's a bit of a partisan partisan thing because they said it was the conservative playbook. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know why we would ever look at the Heritage Foundation and think that it's anything but radical and, quote, addicted to government money potentially. So, Ms. Yentl, before I do that, I'm going to come to you because I want to make sure that I get these things on record. I have a unanimous consent, Madam Chair. It says Donald Trump allegedly asked aides whether Elon Musk's Doge promises were all bull, and then you know what the rest of it is. Unanimous consent?
Without objection.
Thank you so much. I have another one from CBS News. Despite Trump's promised cuts, U.S. spent more than $200 billion more in the first 100 days than last year. If some reason we focused on some efficiency, we may have more money to work towards this deficit that some of my colleagues say that they're concerned about. And I guess, Ms. Yentl, I'm gonna run out of time, because if we were gonna focus on this deficit, then maybe you wouldn't have your own friends coming out and talking about how we're gonna have to lift the debt ceiling $5 trillion, because how else can we pay for the billionaires to keep more money in their pockets? Thank you, and I will yield.
Okay, first of all, let's give Jasmine Crockett her flowers. When she talks about Congress bypassing its duties, she's voicing what so many of us feel: government is failing the people. Not by accident, but by design. She's right. The courts are the only branch even trying to function, while Congress lets the executive branch run wild and billionaires call the shots. And the fact that Elon Musk's name is all over the Doge hearings, but nobody from his camp ever shows up, that's not oversight. That's political theater. Crockett also nails it when she calls out the GOP for dragging Stacey Abrams into the conversation. It's got nothing to do with the hearing, and everything to do with trying to tear down a powerful black woman who challenges their grip on power. And yeah, they're scared of Stacey, because when black women lead, things actually change. That's why they keep trying to muddy the water. Defunding Big Bird and attacking trans kids. That's what the Republican oversight agenda has become. Not fixing the economy. Not tackling climate change. Not corporate corruption. Just nonstop culture war bait. It's pathetic and dangerous. Now here's the part that really hit hard. When Crockett lays out how Trump deregulated crypto while his family was launching a digital coin. That's not leadership. That's straight up grift. She lists it all. Deporting citizens, dropping lawsuits for donors, gutting investigations into Tesla over racism allegations, and Republicans want to talk about radical nonprofits? Get real. Crockett brings up Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation, and she's not wrong. That's not just some policy guide. It's an extremist blueprint to reshape the country through authoritarian, corporate-first rule. And if you think they're not serious, look around. We're already seeing pieces of it play out. This wasn't just a speech. It was a full-on dismantling of political hypocrisy. Jasmine Crockett called it out exactly how it is. From Elon Musk and Trump to the right's smear campaign against nonprofits and marginalized communities, she pulled the curtain back. And as a proud left-wing patriot, let me be clear. Loving your country doesn't mean pledging loyalty to billionaires. It means fighting for fairness, truth, and justice every damn day. If you felt this, hit that subscribe button. Share this video. Drop a comment. Let people know that there are still voices out here ready to call it like it is. This is True Voice. I'm Andrew. Stay loud, stay proud, and stay true. Peace.